Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm a former Boeing 737 pilot, and welcome to our first flight in the Boeing 737 MAX in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Now, as a former 737 MAX pilot myself, I'm really looking forward to seeing this aircraft in action, especially since Asobo has promised that this is going to be their most in-depth aircraft that they have created just yet. Alright, let's go ahead and take a seat in the cockpit of our 737 MAX and just have a quick look around at the options we've got available. So our aircraft is equipped in a fairly high configuration suite, meaning we've got the heads-up display installed. We, well, of course have the MMRs installed, which are kind of standard on the 737 MAX, but overall we also have the flight deck entry camera and a couple of goodies in here. So it's not like the minimum option, it's not the Ryanair options, that's something we can say for sure. Now, we also have an electronic flight bag fitted into here, and this one has a couple of options that the A330 EFB didn't have, which I really appreciated. So when we go over to the flight planner, for example, we do get access to the in-game charts, just like I would wish to have available on the A330 as well. Alright, the flight planner is a very good point here. We are going to give this one a go. So we are going to depart from Lima Oscar Whiskey Kilo today, Klagenfurt, and our destination is going to be Munich. So let's go ahead, enter this, and that gives us something already. Now, we can do the automatic route finding, however, I don't find that very good in the standard MSFS planner for the time being. So I am just going to ignore that en route part, and I will use the standard standard Simbrief flight planner for that, which in my opinion is a little bit better. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any way to actually insert a Simbrief flight plan in the aircraft, so only the standard one over here. Nonetheless, a couple of other details that we do have available over here. You can enter all that good stuff on the general screen over here, and then we've got our payload options. Now, by default they are in pounds. Let's go ahead and change that on the settings page, where I am going to select kilograms and liters. Okay, so with that, we can return to our planner, and that indeed looks a lot better. So we are going to go full house today, carrying 189 passengers, and we're going to take 1,000 kilos in the hold today. And when that is set, let's go over to the fuel options, and we are going to go with, let's see, not a very accurate trip fuel, to be completely honest. So let's just go over this and see what we've got available. We do have the charts down here already, which is quite good. Now, from here, let's see if we can find some options to actually load the aircraft. And here we go, mass and balance. So, in terms of seats, we're going to make it 100% full. In terms of cargo, we are going to take just a little bit down here, 23%, perfectly fine for me. Wait a moment, is that 8,000 kilos of cargo? What on earth? 37.4 maximum? No, not gonna do that. Well, here we go, 1,600 kilos cargo looks just about fine for me. In terms of the fuel, we do this in kilogram, of course. And we can set around 4,000. That will be perfectly fine for this flight. Okay, so 4,000, load an aircraft. If this is gonna work. Now the simulator is frozen up. Here we go. Okay, the loading of your aircraft was successful. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, I do hope that goes for the cargo as well now. I kinda do think so. So that is fine. Alright, perfect. With that, our aircraft is loaded. Let's go ahead and power it up. So we start with the battery, ground power, and for some strange reason we are seeing the APU generator of bus light, even though the APU is actually off. So that's the first bug over here. Let's see if we can turn those on. Oh yeah, we can. No. I want to keep the ground power, please. Hello? Strange. Now it doesn't come on again. Okay, well, that's got to be a bug somewhere. Can we turn them off? Yes. Okay. That's a huge bug in the electrical system here, straight away. Well, I tell you what. We are going to do that fire test. Come on. Fire switches don't light up, apparently. Okay. Well, and then I'm just gonna start that APU so that we don't have to worry about that electrical system there too much. Alright, so emergency exit light on, attendant call button is checked. The thrust levers apparently seem a little bit buggy. I can operate them here using the standard controls, but for some reason it doesn't work via the joystick. Don't ask me why. Seems to be a general flight simulator problem at the moment. Okay, then we can continue. Going up to the overhead panel. Overspeed test. Stick shaker test. Should only work 4 minutes after the plane has been turned on, but we'll just leave it at that. Alright, the IRSs are coming on. And with that, let's go ahead and go into our FMS. For some reason that I don't really know, the plane is still in pounds, even though I did select different. But we do have a settings menu down here where we can do some basic stuff. So fuel indicator style, I kind of like the analog one, even though the digital is probably what you are going to get on most aircraft. So track up is correct, IRS alignment accelerated is okay for me as well. Weight and balance, this is where I would kind of have expected to be able to set the airplane to kilogram rather than pounds, but it's alright, we are going to fly it in pounds today then. It's not like we couldn't do that. Alright, so we've got a 737-8.2. Point 2 over there is just the sub-version of the aircraft, so for example the business jet or the passenger version, the installed engines and so on. Engine rating 28k is okay, and then let's move on to the position in it. Well, we should have been asked for the RS position, but I think it has already finished aligning up here. Remember, we had it set to accelerate, so that's kind of fine. Okay, for the routing, we are going from Klagenfurt over to Munich, which is just going to be a quick 30-minute flight here. So Klagenfurt, Munich, and the call sign is going to be, let's say, TUI-Jet 245. So departures, and this is where things do start to get interesting today. So the winds are variable, light and variable. So I'd say if we depart off runway 10, then we can save ourselves all the backtrack. So let's go ahead and select runway 10 for our departure. We go via the ingot to Romeo, or ingot to Lima in our case then. And for our route, we proceed direct TTAC. And then via Quebec 112 towards Napsa. Here we go, landing runway is going to be 26 left. So ILS approach 26 left, and we take the Napsa 26 transition. Right, back to the route. Quick check that we didn't mess anything up. Looking good. Activate, execute. Performance in it then, cost index. Let's do 30 today. Reserves are going to be 4,000 pounds. And if we just click onto here, onto the zero fuel weight, it automatically imports it. It suggests a cruise at flight level 280. SimRoof suggests level 240. But I tell you what, let's give it 280. Because why not? So our average winds are going to be 244 at 42. I got that out of the SimRoof flight plan that I have on my... That's interesting. 244 at 42. Invalid entry. Huh. It definitely shouldn't be invalid. Okay, well, we'll stick to that then. ISA deviation is minus 11, that means the top of climb outside temperature should be minus 51. Interesting, we can enter that, but just not the winds. Strange. Okay, and for the transition altitude we need our charts, so let's go back into the planner. Klagenfurt, charts, departures, 10 left, Please load it up, and here we go. I just totally love my Lido charts. Okay, so we are flying via the IMGIT departure up here, so that means we go straight ahead, Whiskey Kilo 610, max 205 knots, and then a left-hand turn via waypoint 611, 10,000 feet towards IMGIT above 11,500. The transition altitude is 10,000. So we enter 10,001 in the FMS, and then let's execute this over to the N1 limit. Well, we don't really seem to have a takeoff performance calculator available in here, but it's a 737, so at this weight, takeoff 2D rate and 30 degrees assumed, it's pretty surely gonna work. Alright, flaps 5 takeoff, we'll just import the CG down here and we'll accept the speeds that it suggests to us with 141 in RV2. For the climb performance, we should have a 250/100 speed restriction down here. Let's see if we can enter that manually if it's not there. Yeah, we can. Excellent. Okay, so far progress, it tells us we'll arrive at 3,700, but we've got a full approach transition in there, so I'm not too worried about that. 232 nautical miles. Okay, last but not least, let's go ahead and enter 25-mile ring for MSA awareness over here. And if we check what the MSA actually is, it's based upon Kilo Fox Tango actually. Okay. So 25 miles around Kilo Fox Tango. And not around the airport. Well, it's got to be the VOR. /25. And up here we can check it's the one 10 miles from us, so that's okay. So, last but not least, we've got the MSA based on radial 015 and 270. So let's just draw those lines as well. 015, 270, and that's it. Okay, perfect. So that is our general setup completed up there, or down there I should say. So let's go ahead with our flight deck pre-flight. Yaw damper on, and the fuel pumps are all coming on. Let's test the transfer valve. Goes bright, then out. Sorry, bright, then dim. And then bright, and now it should go off. Here we go, looking good. The APU is definitely running now, so it is on the buses already. The cabin utility and IFE switches should never have been off. Not sure why that is the problem there. Okay, you remain off for the time being. Then window heaters coming on, the hydraulics are coming on, flight voice recorder on, packs on. The engine bleeds should have been on by default, and the APU bleed can come on as well. Now, I have no idea why the air conditioning panel is blacked out. I suppose we're gonna see if it works in flight. First flight of the day, right igniter to be used. Oh, here's a bug for you guys. Look how it says ELAC T on here. It should only say ELAC. There shouldn't be a T behind that master caution. So, we want to use the VORs. Oh, look at that. The VSD is actually inoperative. Too bad. Oh, that terrain display does not look like the real one. Let's get rid of that. So flight director's on, and we go for the airports down here. I am gonna turn up the VSD on, the terrain on the FO side, just to see what it looks like. Okay, we are flying in hectopascals today, and according to the weather, the QNH is 998. Strange way of interacting with the EFIS CP over here. In the real world, it's turn it and then hold it. In this one, unfortunately not, it seems. Look at that, I'm changing my QNH, but the altimeter scale stays unchanged. 1460? Well, seems correct. Is it bound to the primary altimeter? No. That is really strange. But look at how the... Oh, I think I know why. Let's go into the walk-around mode. Nonetheless, the altimeter should change when you... the altimeter setting definitely, or the altimeter reading definitely should change when you take those, or even with the covers on, because you still change the reference setting. But I guess it's probably related to how the they decided to simulate the altimetry system. So when you forget to remove the covers, it probably just freezes your altimeter in position, I guess. Overall though, we can say it is a pretty beautiful model. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about is how to remove those chocks, because I can't find any click spots. Oh, here's one. Alright, well, ain't gonna ask questions then. Beautiful model, as we can see, especially of that LEAP 1B engine. Just look at those fan blades, how they're windmilling over here. That is quite cool indeed. Now, something that I really want to show you is the gear bay. Just look at this, and look at the significant amount of wires and pipes and everything you just have in here. Now what's pretty cool is the ability to actually check the gauges for the hydraulic reservoirs, because those are a normal part of the walk-around procedure. The same, by the way, goes for the pressure in the fire bottles on the other end side. Also quite cool to see the nitrogen generation system model over here, even though we should have a green light up here, or at least the degraded or inoperative light, and your APU controls over here, even though they don't seem to be simulated. But over here you do have an APU fire extinguisher that you can use if the fire warning sounds once you are outside. Overall, once again, pretty good model. I do really enjoy this one. Okay, but now with all our chocks and all our equipment removed, let's go right back inside. And let's finish our setup, shall we? So here we are again, and look at that. Now our altimeter readings do change. So let's just see. Airport elevation is 1472. So why, with the current QNH entered, does it not give us the correct readout? Live weather is selected. That's strange. Okay, should be something like this, so 1002. Okay, I will just take that for the time being, and we'll see where we get from there. Something that's also a little bit worrying here is that the hydraulic quantities show refill on both sides and are down to half. So technically speaking, with that we could not fly the aircraft. For the purpose of the video, I will just ignore this. Okay. So, for some strange reason, we don't have avionics down here. There should not be any dedicated avionics switch in the 737. Well, the APU is running. We can observe a tiny bit of duct pressure there. There's something wrong with this. So just to check again. The battery is on. We don't see anything up here. Okay, there is something really wrong with this aircraft. Really don't know what it is. Let's see, if I turn the transponder on, do we get a corresponding result? No. Huh, strange. Well, I guess we're just gonna ignore this for the time being. Strange. Very strange. But well, I suppose we do want to fly this, so I will just ignore the malfunction in avionics for the time being. We might have to fly an RNAV approach then, since we will not have a way to set the ILS frequency, but that is going to be the least of our problems, right? Now, something that's a bit strange as well is how you can see the aircraft's position showing totally off the airport over here. I promise you we're on the airport though. I definitely do. Okay, well, we'll just keep it at that. Maybe it's a flight simulator problem. I'm really not sure about that. Okay, so let's just set runway heading, set the initial climb, and 103 is going to be our courses as well. By the way, really nice to see that you can just click and drag these in order to set them fast now, since that was a huge problem back in the day in MSFS. Okay, now comes the huge question. With this apparent APU issue, are we going to be able to start the engines? Our setup is done. I suppose we'll just try. Oh, look at that! I turn the packs off and the duct pressure goes up. Well, not exactly within realistic values, but it means that the APU is operative. That is something at least. Alright, since we don't really have any way to disconnect any ground equipment as far as I can see, let's go back over here. No. Well, seems like it. That we can't disconnect the GPU, but it's... I mean, it's standing next to us. It's not technically connected. Let's ignore it. Engine 2 start. So, Leap 1B engines. The N2 should increase to between 18 and 23 or 24%, I believe. And then it should go into the bow rotor motoring, indicated by the motoring riding on here, just like this. Alright, we'll wait until the aircraft has finished the motoring, which takes a minimum of 20 seconds, and maximum anywhere around 90 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, right now. It shouldn't go to 26% though, it should stay somewhere down to around 24 or so. And once the motoring vanishes like this, and we have at least 25%, let's turn on the fuel. And we do have the ignition, the EGT is going up. And look at that, the hydraulic quantity is decreasing even further. With quite a variable pressure here as well, which really shouldn't be. We have the electric pumps on, this should be steady at 3000 psi. We do have them on, right? Yeah, we do. The low pressure lights are out as well. Strange. Okay, so we have a good start on engine 2. But that N2 is definitely incorrect. It should be around 70%, not 60%. This looks a lot like a CFM56 engine start to me, but not a Leap 1B. Okay, let's try that on the other one again. This time I am gonna start the clock to monitor what's going on. So we have N2 increasing. Somewhere around 18% we should get oil pressure. Why is it showing white with 1? No, that's not correct. N1 should start a rise at about 18% N2 as well. That comes too early. It's motoring at too high of an RPM. Or too high of an N2. And here we go. Okay, fuel on. The valves have operated. And now the engine continues to run up. I tell you honestly, except for the motoring that they've included over here, this looks a lot like a CFM56 engine start to me, but not a Leap 1B start. Round about a minute 30. Okay, well, suppose we are gonna take it like that. Why did the gen of bus light not illuminate? Looks like generator 2 is inoperative. What happens if I turn the APU off? Ooh, lovely surge in the pressurization system. That would not happen on the real plane. So, flaps 5, flight controls. Up, down. Up. Not really going down now. Neutral. Left, right, neutral, rudders, left, right, and neutral. So that hydraulic quantity here would be a no-go item. The hydraulic pressure is a little bit low as well. It should be around 3,000, not 2,600. And the gauge wouldn't be able to read the ones. It only goes to tens. But okay, we'll just accept it like this for now, since we do want to go flying, and if anything goes wrong, I guess we'll see about it. So, just while I see it, V2 141. Here we go. Okay. A little bit troublesome. It's not as good as the A330 on my first impression, but let's give it a try. So, park and brake released. The Max should easily taxi on idle thrust, especially at a light weight like we are right now. Will you? Let's add a bit of power then. Gotta use my keyboard, as for some reason the thrust levers don't seem to work, even though they do in other aircraft. Okay, we need about 30% N1 to get moving. Again, that's a CFM56 engine for you. 30% N1 on the CFM56, as you have it in the 737-800, for example, is a perfect number. But for a Max, no. The Max should roll in idle, even at max takeoff weight. And it should accelerate much, much quicker. But well, I suppose if this is a CFM56 engine in the background and not a Leap 1B, then 30% would actually be rather accurate for a 737-800, not for a 737-8. Strange. Okay, so airport ground chart. Suppose we do need that. Okay, so we taxi out over here, then right on Lima, Bravo, and we won't need to backtrack. That runway should be long enough. But look at that, we still have the 30% on. Yeah, this might actually be alright for a 737-800, but wrong displays in here, my friends. Okay, let's go to idle. See what's gonna happen. Man, we are losing speed pretty quickly. That should not happen. Okay, tell you what, I want to feel it a little bit more during taxi, so let's do the backtrack. I want to get a little bit more taxi experience here. So, entering the runway. Still nothing down here. Well, I'll turn the knobs into the right positions anyway. Here we go. Okay, so... a little bit of power. So strange to do that with the keyboard all the time. Something I really have to say is that the ground model feels a lot better than it did in FS 2020. I said that on the A330 video already, I'll gladly say it here again. That strange skidding we had seems to be completely gone. I do like that very much. Okay, here we are. So then, lights are set, the cabin is ready. Just a quick recall here. Not that that would be SOP, but hey, why not? Okay, looks ready to me. Auto throttle, VNAV, LNAV. Well, let's give this a go. Let's see what's gonna happen. The engines are reacting much too quick down there. We have a toga click spot somewhere. No. Hello, toga. Oh, don't tell me the toga button doesn't work. Seems like it. Is there a hidden click spot for this anywhere? No. Okay. Set takeoff thrust. Manually. Well, roughly takeoff thrust set, indications normal. Master warning, air conditioning, disregard. We're above 80 knots. V1, rotate. Man, I'm pulling full. And nothing happens. Hello? Will you kinda go flying, please? Huh. Come on, man. Yeah? No. Hello? 737 MAX doing 737 MAX things? Congratulations! They have a working MCAS! Well. What are we gonna say about this now? I suppose that's about as far as we are gonna get here. Well. I suppose that is a highly realistic implementation of a 737 MAX flight control system. Luckily we didn't kill any of the cows though. I guess that's gonna be it for this video then. If we can't get it into the air. And now I can't even look around anymore. My views are stuck. It works via the joystick, but not via the mouse. Well guys, I guess that's it. Now I know some of you are going to say that I might have caused this crash deliberately by moving the yoke forward all the time. Just to add over here, I did not do that intentionally. It just did that on its own. I pulled it all the way back, but for some reason the aircraft just... You just saw it, right? Here, I'm holding my stick all the way back, and yeah, the yoke moves back into the standard position. I have no clue why. Maybe it's related to this hydraulic problem, maybe it's not. In any case, that thing is unflyable for the time being. And I suppose that's gonna be the result of this one. So, yeah, well, I guess. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you really like what I'm doing... No. Let's keep it at that, guys. See you all again on the next one. You know where this is going.